Welcome to Hoovies Garage, and I'm in my 1982 DeLorean, which is still broken after spending $10,000 on it. When I bought it, it was the cheapest DeLorean in the USA, and it didn't run or drive. Now it's no longer the cheapest DeLorean in the USA by a lot, and it does run and drive. I'm going down the highway right now, but the Wizard has screwed some things up. And it's time for me to air my grievances and complain to the Wizard. He needs to fix these things once and for all and fast so I can actually enjoy this car. Otherwise, I may have to find a new Wizard. Wizard?
Well, you look angry.
Yeah, we're gonna have words today.
A war of words?
Words. This DeLorean is not fixed. I've spent $10,000 with you fixing this thing, and it's still broken. Even the thing, this is the Wizard's fault because things are not fixed that you touched.
Well, we need to get them right for you.
Yes, absolutely. Starting with these mirrors. This is the second time the mirrors have fallen off.
The second time?
The side view mirrors have fallen off on me.
Did you put on a set yourself?
No, you did it. You glued them on. You don't remember.
I only glued one set.
You did both, and they've fallen off.
Okay, I don't know about that.
He's not owning up to anything. The fuel tank. You did the fuel pump on this thing.
Yep.
It's still reading empty on the fuel level sender, even though you replaced all that stuff.
Okay.
Still broken.
Well, we need to get it all right for you.
You spent thousands of dollars of my money on the engine, and it still won't cold start.
I can guarantee you when I'm done with this car, it'll blow your mind.
That's what I want. 7 days.
7 days.
7 days, open checkbook, just fix it. Just get it right. If you can't do it, then you're not a wizard.
Okay.
You're not a wizard.
Okay.
I'll
take your challenge.
You're just a hack mechanic, and I'm sick and tired of you. I'm tired of your BS.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
I'm gonna, I don't know. I don't want to fight you because I would lose.
Don't do that.
I would lose. I'm on to you. I'm watching you. Wizard?
Hey, I got it fixed for you.
Wizard?
I'm just putting some finishing touches on it. I'm almost done. I got it fixed right for you.
You're kidding me. Huh. Well, I see you've fixed the mirrors.
Yeah, the mirrors are fixed.
Got them glued in properly. I appreciate that. So, how did you address my cold start issue?
Oh, it has Mr. Fusion now. It doesn't have cold start anymore.
I see. So, a fusion generator?
Yeah.
On my DeLorean.
So now when we need Dodge Viper parts, we can actually go back in time and get them.
I see. I see. So you didn't want to go with plutonium?
No. You can just put your food, banana peels,
I see.
ready to go, man.
This is not what I expected.
Is that what we're at? Happy Hoovie?
I suppose so. Wizard, what did you do?
I gotta finish writing the bill too.
It has a flux capacitor.
You're not concerned about the bill, it seems.
I'm totally blown away. Holy moly. You're a wizard. I'm sorry I ever questioned you. This is amazing. So,
It's a lot faster than it used to be.
I imagine so. So, how much is this going to set me back?
6.2 million.
So, that's like exactly the price of a new Sunseeker,
Well,
right?
you know, it's a time machine.
Right, I guess
Where
so.
else are you going to go buy one?
No. Well, clearly this isn't my DeLorean. This is somebody else's that's popped in for a visit. So let's go.
Let's introduce the
Yeah, let's go introduce the owner here. There he is, Bob.
Hey, what's happening?
So it's Bob's Prop Shop on YouTube. You guys have probably followed him because he's bought the cheapest Rolls-Royce Phantom in the USA. He just officially dethroned me with a much cheaper car.
Not anymore.
So you built this thing, and this is your livelihood, is building props and DeLorean time machines and everything under the sun.
This is how I can afford Rolls Royces. I've built 30 of these DeLorean time machines. This car was the 6th car we ever built. It was sold on a TV show called Auction Kings on Discovery Channel back in 2011. And the owner of the car was a car collector, and he just let the car sit for the last 7 or 8 years. And he asked me if I wanted it back, and I said, I love this car. I would be happy to buy it back. So we're going to take it back to our shop in Dallas, and we're going to completely refurbish it. We're going to take it completely apart and put it back together. And we've done that many times.
So how many man hours goes into building one of these things?
It takes us anywhere from 1 to 3 months to do a car, depending on the options and how much stuff we have to do to it. Sometimes we do the plutonium chamber version. This car is actually done screen accurately. I put that in quotes because the car in the movie had a completely open rear bulkhead, so you can actually see right down into your fuse box down there. It's not waterproof at all. And also the rear vents, they kind of hook around and press up against the taillights. So the cars that we build for our customers, we modify the vents so that you can open this and get to the engine, because you can't get to the engine. You have to take all these screws out to open this up. And then we also put a waterproof shelf back here so that it doesn't get wet.
So how much does one of these run start to finish nowadays?
They average about $100,000 with the cost of the DeLorean and all the fabrication that goes into it. So, wow. But you know,
so if I had my DeLorean and I sent it to you, then
sure, you'd send your DeLorean up to Dallas, and about a month later, we'd send you back something that looked like this.
Nice.
So the conversion average is about $50,000, depending on the different conversion things that you want on it.
Right.
But you know, we learned a lot from the restoration of the screen use car, and Kevin Pike, who built the original car, is a really close friend of mine. And I got to know Bob Gale, who wrote the movie. I got to know Andrew Probert, the original storyboard artist who drew the concept.
That's crazy.
So I got to be friends with all those people. You know,
it's
even
amazing.
some of the actors in the movie, and so I'm kind of the official DeLorean time machine guy.
There are a few issues with my DeLorean that aren't time machine related that maybe you could help us answer.
What you're saying is you have car issues.
I have car issues, exactly. So we'll get my car back in, and then maybe you can go over it with me and
Absolutely.
tell me what you think. Awesome. All right, follow me over to my humble little DeLorean here. What do you think we should do glue-wise on these mirrors? Because they've fallen off twice.
Well, DeLorean Motor Company Houston sells a cool convex mirror, and you just got to prep the surface properly, and that looks like a hot glue or something. What did you use there?
Plastic adhesive.
Yeah, it didn't work.
As soon as it got warm, it kind of just fell off in the road.
That's not the first time that's happened. You know, your car it's kind of a rare car. It's a black automatic. This is going to be a fall car, so it was built in the fall of '81. Highest production months, September and October. You know, some people really desire the black, you know, but you have the automatic transmission. There's a little computer that operates the shifting, and so you may have problems with that.
Oh, the whole transmission grenaded because of that, so that's one of the things we did.
Yeah. One of my first cars back in 2003, I set up a series of toggle switches, and I used to like paddle shift it with a toggle switch to get it to work before I finally rebuilt the computer. You drove it in here. I can hear that you've got a custom stainless exhaust.
Yes.
Which sounds great. I saw that your louvers are a little broken, which I have like dozens of these at my shop. So if anybody has a DeLorean and you need one of these louvers, I have tons of them. The problem is I can't ship them because every one of them I've ever shipped has broken. Oh. Because they're so plasticky.
So if I come to Dallas, I can see all your stuff and
I'll give
grab one of those?
for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know that you got one of these from me. I sell these little license plate frames.
Yeah.
Because those are another thing that just wasn't available.
And that's actually how we met, is I ordered this from him, and then in my first DeLorean video, he saw me putting it on and then sent me an email. So also, then when he bought the Phantom, I guess you'd watched my videos and decided you want to get a Phantom for yourself.
You were the reason I bought the Phantom, because
that's awesome.
You convinced me that it was worth having as a daily driver. I was so timid and intimidated. I was afraid that it was just going to be too costly. And even with my knowledge of cars, I thought I've never owned a European vehicle other than a DeLorean. I've always owned American cars. I've never had a BMW in my life. I've never seen the iDrive. And but after watching the one video, your 6-month update, where you're taking your kid to school and it was icy, and you were just talking about what a great car it is, I decided to pull the trigger, and I found one that was a reasonable price. And since yours was what, 85,000 was the cheapest?
82, I don't know.
I was like, if that's the cheapest, this one was offered for 75, and crazy enough, he took 65.
Right.
And I thought, if I can get one of these cars for that cheap, I'm going to jump on it.
Yeah.
And even if the motor completely blows up, I can go buy a 760 Li for like $5,000 and just swap the engine in it.
They tend to depreciate right after I buy them. That's just the way it works. My cold start issue. It hot starts instantly. It's fantastic. But the cold start is really rough on this thing. Even if it's warm outside, it maybe takes about 30 seconds of cranking. But if it's cold outside, cold starts are a pain, big pain.
Well, this has the mechanical fuel injection by Bosch, and this was used on a lot of British cars back in the early 80s. It was innovative at the time, but by today's standards, not so much. I mean, when John DeLorean built the car, it was designed to be an ethical car, not necessarily fast, but he wanted it to have low emissions and be good on gas. Unfortunately, the thing suffers because of that. So you have these plastic lines that are covered with rubber. These break really easy and catch on fire. And
Fire, you say?
Yes, you know, like a Ferrari like Freddie has.
Like black Ferraris.
Yeah.
Okay. So replace the fuel lines.
So replace your fuel lines.
Okay.
You may want to go ahead and replace this cold start valve. This you were idling great, so I think your idler is doing great.
Yeah, and then you said my distributor earlier when you took a quick peek at it before the video.
There's a little adjustment. You have to drill a hole into here, and there's an adjustment screw that's under there that's not accessible, and you can't really see it from here. There you go. You got the flashlight. And you've already had that done, so I don't know who got a hold of this car before you, but it was somebody who knew what they were doing. So your fuel distributor is actually working great. And I recommend that just driving it a lot. I think the more you run it and run some good injector cleaners through there, like you put a gallon of Berryman's Chem Tool in the tank and just run it and let it run for a day, and that'll clean it out.
Well, Bob, this thing's crazy. Thank you so much for bringing it by. I love it.
You have to have a special love for the DeLorean in order to, you know, to even appreciate the time machine. But I don't think there's anybody who has the DeLorean that doesn't know about the DeLorean without Back to the Future. So.
Right. Well, you've got to get back to Dallas, right? And your big old tour bus out there?
If only I had a time machine, I could be there on time.
Right.
It's funny, I'm always running late. But yeah, I travel around the country in my big tour bus, tow in the car, we do events.
And then you can check out his YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you're into these kind of cars or Rolls Royces, we do a lot of the same kind of stuff you're doing.
Yeah, Video Bob. Yeah, he does more Rolls Royce videos than me.
We get to be like the Mount Rushmore of car YouTubers with hoopties.
Your hoopty fleet's a little more...
This thing is a hoopty. We have to push it in here.
Right, that is true. Oh, thanks a lot, Bob. All right, nice meeting you. Wizard, you got good advice there?
Any good advice?
Yes?
On this?
You know how to proceed with mine now.
I know how to proceed. But
All right.
Advice is don't buy a DeLorean.
Don't
No.
buy a DeLorean.
Too late.
I won't buy one.
Too late, sadly. This thing is crazy.